A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a move that has sparked significant backlash, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has defended his approval of a contentious bill that critics argue weakens the country's anti-corruption institutions. The legislation, which passed through Ukraine's parliament, the Verkhovna Rada, effectively removes the independence of the National Anti-Corruption Bureau, NABU, and the Specialized Anti-Corruption Prosecutor's Office, SAPO. This controversial decision has ignited the first serious protests against Zelenskyy's government since the onset of Russia's full-scale invasion in February 2022. Protesters took to the streets in Kyiv, Lviv, Dnipro, and Odessa, expressing their discontent with slogans such as "Shame" and "Veto the law." Approximately 1,500 demonstrators gathered outside Zelenskyy's presidential administration, voicing their concerns that this legislative change could hinder Ukraine's aspirations of joining the European Union. The protests were notably characterized by a diverse group of participants, including students, young activists, and military veterans, all united under the blue and yellow of the Ukrainian flag. Many protesters expressed fears that the bill would lead Ukraine back towards autocracy, reminiscent of the era under former President Viktor Yanukovych, who fled to Russia after mass protests in 2014. Sasha Kazantseva, a protester, articulated the sentiment of many when she stated, "If the bill goes ahead, it will make it harder for Ukraine to join the European Union. We will go back to dictatorship." In his nightly video address following the bill's passage, Zelenskyy attempted to reassure the public that anti-corruption bodies would remain operational, albeit under new conditions aimed at eliminating Russian influence. He emphasized the need for a more efficient legal system, claiming that many corruption cases had been stagnant for years. However, critics argue that the new law grants the prosecutor general excessive control, allowing for potential political interference in corruption investigations. The legislation has drawn international condemnation, with prominent figures such as former U.S. Ambassador to Moscow Mike McFaul and former Estonian President Toomas Hendrik Ilves expressing their concern. The European Union has also weighed in, with European Commissioner for Enlargement Marta Kos stating that the dismantling of safeguards protecting NABU's independence represents a grave step backward for Ukraine's democratic ambitions. Ukraine's application to join the EU is contingent upon its progress in combating corruption, a commitment that has been supported by significant military and economic aid from EU nations since the onset of the war. As protests continue to unfold, the situation remains tense, with many Ukrainians calling for a return to the principles of democracy and transparency that fueled the Euromaidan uprising nearly a decade ago. The coming days will be crucial for Zelenskyy and his administration as they navigate the backlash from civil society and international allies alike. The president's decision to sign the bill into law has raised questions about his commitment to fighting corruption and upholding democratic values in Ukraine. As the protests grow, it remains to be seen how the government will respond to the mounting pressure from both the public and its European partners. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.